the Raven Heights Radio Podcast. Get weird with us.
Hello, welcome to Raven Heights Radio, and I'm your host, Erica Winter, and with me is...
Andrew Rosa.
And we have a special guest today, comic writer, Mr. Ben Goldsmith.
Wow. Hey guys, what's going on? Andrew, do you always say your name like that at the beginning?
Not always, but
Not always.
I'm a bit of a performer, so every now and then it's like, hello, I'm Andrew Rosa, and thank you for listening to Raven Heights Radio.
He's the wild card. But no, the reason I ask you is because prior to starting this recording, just so everyone knows, we were talking about how our voices sounded. And I was like, man, he really is going for that masculine sound. And then I wanted to be like, my name is Ben Goldsmith, because just the total opposite. Listeners, if you think your voice sounds like a thing that people tell you it's not, you can tweet at Raven Heights. Is there Raven Heights Twitter?
Yeah. Yep. Oh, you're so good. Thank you.
Tweet at Raven Heights, hashtag not my voice. But hey, hi guys. Hi. Hey, what's up? Hey everyone, Ben Goldsmith.
All right. Why don't you share with the class what it is you've written? Some of your highlights, your personal highlights.
Much like gum in school, I didn't bring enough highlights.
Oh, geez.
For the rest of the class. No, I mean, I can. Long story short, I'm sort of at the beginning of the whole career thing, and right now, the biggest thing and probably the tent pole is a book called The Seance Room, and that is available from SourcePoint Press, this publisher that is doing remarkable things, and we have some other really exciting things coming out, both with SourcePoint and both personally, that I can share some of the details with, but I won't go enumerate them right here, right now. That feels like a lot of me talking about myself up front. That's boring.
Oh, that's what we're here for.
Is that? Okay. Well, when I was 12 years old, I scraped my knee, and I actually I was just imagining Andy as a 12-year-old with that voice from beginning. Mom!
I mean, that's what happened.
I want my appy juice.
Mom, can we dip into dad's cocaine?
Oh, son.
I knew that's why we had the Coke plate in the garage.
Plate? It was a broken mirror and a razor blade.
You kids put mirrors on your walls? He go to his friend's house, is just shocked. How do you know? He was like, oh!
I just remember my mother was terrified when she saw that my nose was bleeding. She didn't know whether or not my pipes were rusty or if it was shards of broken glass.
I think she was just disappointed in you for being such a pussy. She was like,
now you sound like my dad.
No son of mine won't do coke at 12 like a pro. Like a Hollywood producer from the 70s. So anyway, what are we doing?
So, just one quick aside because it really makes me laugh. The way we met at AwesomeCon.
Yeah, go for it.
Well, I was wearing this Joy Division shirt that has cats on it.
Mm-hmm. And
the reason I wear this shirt at cons all the time, Mark Maron really was interested in my shirt. He recognized it from my Twitter picture when I met him in person. So now I consider it like good luck. And I'm walking past just looking at all the booths. And someone yells, Joy Division! I turn my head like it's my name.
because I distinctly remember not yelling it at you like I was excited to see a Joy Division shirt, but like it was your name. That's why, because it was like an authority to it. Like, hey, Joy Division. The same way people would be like, hey, Mohawk. Or like some defining feature.
If only you were like, hey, Joy Division, I've been looking for some friends of mine.
Yeah, well, I would have done that and then felt even stupider because then I didn't even see that it was a cat Joy Division shirt. So, okay. Because what I really would have done is meowed a song at you, but I didn't. But it is a great
that
shirt.
Also would have been effective.
Yeah, it's a great shirt.
Well, you're a great salesman because I think it took you like 30 seconds to sell me on buying your books.
It's well, thank you first of all for that. And also thank you for buying it, which led us to this, which thank you for having me on.
Sure.
Just the trail of thank yous. It's the opposite of what Andrew Jackson would have done. A big thing about what we do at the conventions is it's like 50% what you bring and 50% how you sell it, right? Like, I don't know primarily who listens to, like, do you guys have like a lot of like creators listen to the show? Just friends, family? Like, what's the, I mean, I'm
usually friends that are creators.
Okay, yeah, because I'm more than happy to talk about like any aspect of it, but I just don't want people to be overly, bored.
Get as nerdy as possible.
Yeah, because there is a. I'm sorry, what, Andy?
That's our demographic, dude.
That's your demographic. Is the technical aspect of things.
Exactly.
Yeah, considering before this podcast, you also told me you listened to like 7 different directors' commentaries of 7 alone.
Yes, actually, not to mention Panic Club.
I still haven't seen it. Is that terrible?
The seeing as how that's his popcorn movie, I would say yes, but personally, no. I don't think that's terrible.
We can move forward from not having seen that. Okay, great.
But also, thank you for the wonderful postcard.
Oh, you're welcome. Those are super fun to do. Oh my gosh, I feel like there's a million ways to tell people. The other thing I do too is because as a writer, it's really hard to sort of make extra money when you're at these conventions. So when I'm at them by myself, I will actually write people horror stories, custom horror stories. They give me their biggest fear. I will write them a story right there in front of them, and then you have it on the back of this vintage magician postcard. Or sometimes I have these horror postcards and that kind of stuff. And the thing is, though, is like at the Source Point booths when I'm there, there's just no time, right? Like we're constantly, because there's just so much stuff to sell. There's so many books, not mine, but just everyone's from the company. And Travis McIntyre he's the editor in chief, and he is really good about like making it a team so that not only the success of Nora or the success of Monstrous or Rotten Tail is the success of Seance Room, So we just don't have any time. But what I will do is if like someone like Erica is cool and we're hitting it off at these big conventions, I will actually offer, and I gave you like a crazy discount price, so don't tell anyone what you actually paid for it.
Will do.
And then you'll tell me, and then I'll take your address, and then I will actually mail it to you. And you can always, like on Instagram, you can just get at me, and they're only $15, which is even better because they're like a personal story just for you, and it's mailed to your house. So you can get Instagram at Mr. Ben AU, so MRBENAU. My last name's Goldsmith. I thought it would be clever. It just turned out to be confusing. And so you can actually just direct message me, and I will, send one to your house. And it's part of the fun of it is getting it through the mail, right? And like opening up the mail, be like, oh, a postcard, and then reading it and be like, oh, that's fucking crazy, you dick, but thank you for that story. You know what I mean?
I was wondering, Andy, did Ma find that postcard before she put it in my bin and was like, what is this?
Oh, no, she didn't read it. That's inappropriate.
Oh, okay. I mean, I was just asking. I didn't know if she's like, what's this cryptic message that you're getting from a stranger?
Because she has not talked to me in a week. No, yours was good. Well, it's funny, too, because it's sort of like it's always playing with something, because yours, if I'm not mistaken, was death, right?
Yes.
Yeah, and that is obviously such an obsequious sort of thing, right? There's no one right way to be afraid of death. There's a million and one. I mean, realistically, if you want to get philosophical about it, everything you're afraid of is death, because why else would you be afraid of it? But it was cool because then, like, just with your last name,
it's so punny.
Yeah, it's right. It's a very common word in our language, and but it was great because then, like, being able to use that, and it's fun to just only meeting a person for a very short time and having a very short conversation with them, sort of create something that is totally unique to them. And unique of anything I've done. The one thing I'll always tell people is I don't double down. Like, I don't write a card and just put Mad Libs the name. That's not how they work. They are each one a complete unique experience for me and the reader.
That's so awesome.
It's been fun. It certainly turns a lot of conventions into like therapy sessions with people.
That's what podcasting is for us to an extent too.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. That's certainly the ones you really get into. You start to listen to for the, I guess the sort of communal sense of sharing either pain, pleasure, grief, or elation, right?
No.
So, did I overstate the?
Oh no, not at all.
You're like we just talked about Sega and Andy does voices, and then we call it a day and drink.
My big thing is always like it. I've always been bad about not wanting to interrupt people, so I always sit and listen, which is great because I always get like, "You're such a great listener." I'm like, I'm listening.
Have you found now? How long? Pardon my ignorance. How long have you guys been doing this podcast for?
3 years.
Okay. Have you found, Andy, that in that time you have actually become a better listener in your personal life?
You never had a problem, though.
Yeah.
That's great. Well, that's terrific.
I'll be that weird, creepy guy, apparently, that sits in the room very quietly for about a half an hour, but then I'll strike up a conversation with you when grabbing a drink, and I'll be like, "Oh, yeah, I know your mother has leukemia." And they're like, "How'd you know that?" I'm like, "I overheard you speaking to your..."
Not even just that, but you can listen to 3 seconds of a movie when you're not even in the room and tell me what movie it is and what scene I'm in.
Oh,
and it's great, but frustrating.
Yeah.
And does he demand new underwear in Judge Walker too?
No.
No.
I just have a fairly good memory. That's all. It's like a quick anecdote.
I'm glad one of us does.
Well, I need to be your memory as well half the time because I'll tell her about a movie, and she'll be like, "Oh, that sounds really good. We ought to see that." I'm like, "Babe, we did." She's like, "When was that?" I'm like, 2 years ago.
This happens weekly.
Yeah.
Are they good movies, or is it just like the one-off? We saw it.
Oh no, they're good movies. It's just that, oddly enough, though, she doesn't have a hard time remembering the bad movies I show her. Which sometimes I'll do intentionally because I'm a bit of a sadist. I won't lie. But the thing is that, when I show you brain damage films, for instance.
Death Factory?
Yeah, Death Factory.
The name of the movie is Death Factory.
Sorry, folks. Technical difficulties. I guess you'll have to tune in next week, where our interview with Ben Goldsmith continues. Thank you, and good night.